Hi and welcome. Do you say welcome? That seems kind of redundant. I'm Isabel, and I am the face behind the name Poison Jackal Art. You can call me Izzy if you prefer, I don't mind. This is the process, not the process here, it's a time lapse of the first sort of 3, I think, hours of working on a commission painting of a pet portrait. The painting is of a lovely, lovely dog called Maya, belonging to a family friend. And the painting itself, it's on a strange size canvas. I've got the size here. It's not quite A3, 27.5 centimeters by 35 centimeters. And it's on a canvas panel board thing. So the process for this pretty straightforward. I started by gessoing the board. It comes pre-gessoed, but I added more just to remove a little bit of the canvas texture, try and sort of smooth it over a little bit because it was quite aggressively gridded almost. So I filled in some of the gaps with the gesso and got rid of some extra lumps and things like that. Now you can see here I'm chucking in a base sketch, trying to figure out where the dog's going to sit compositionally. I did a couple of... I think what I did was I took the reference photo and cropped that in a few different ways and then shifted it around and we chose together, me and the commissioner, the one where more of the dog was visible, more of Maya was visible. This is so much harder than I thought. Oh, okay, so the reference photo, you'll see there, it doesn't quite look like it lines up properly. And for 2 reasons. So, A, maybe it just doesn't, because maybe I drew it wrong, which is kind of why I was using the reference as the overlay for the stream as like a bit of a test to kind of cheat my way into figuring out where I had missed certain lines or proportions and things. And the other reason it didn't quite look right is because the actual reference that I'm using, I took the head off of another photo. So the reference on the screen, I'm using the body for that one and then a different head. So it was kind of cool stitching it all together and making it look pretty seamless and just trying to figure out ways to make the painting as good as possible so that you can't just attribute it to one photo, you know? It's a good way to make sure that you're not sort of plagiarizing reference as well. So like while these photos are, I think I took them myself, so even if I did just use one, that's totally fine. But if you're wanting to use references from other people, it's always a good practice to make sure that you change it enough that it's sort of unrecognizable the way that it was before, or you know, kind of it becomes something new, right? You'll see later I end up what I what I normally do with my paintings, and I completely forgot with this one, is like the underpainting of a kind of a warm color. And so I put in the sky, and then I realized that I didn't put in that underpainting. So I just do the rest of it as an underpainting, and I put in some nice like yellow ochre. And it ends up looking, I think you'll probably see little flashes of the comments on the screen as well, but kind of looks like a sphinx dog in like the Egyptian sands for a little while, which is kind of a cool concept, but it does get switched out later on. This is just the first stream cut into a time lapse after all. So there are going to be more installments of this painting. It's a long process, let me tell you that right now. There's going to be a few videos coming out of it. I want to try a few different styles of editing as well, so where this one is just full time-lapse with a voiceover. This is my first voiceover, by the way. I've had to pause a lot and gather my thoughts because I'm kind of just winging it. The other ones I want to try like gentle cuts instead, so not time-lapsed, but normal speed, and maybe there's a little bit of like, I don't know, sort of, I guess, ASMR sound like of the paintbrush moving would be really nice. I like that in other people's videos, so I'm hoping maybe I can figure out a way to do that myself. Finding royalty-free music is a bit rough. I'm still kind of doing that on the side, but yeah, I've done it once, okay? Let's not fluff up the truth. I've looked for music once. I found a few things that are nice, but nothing that's like, yeah, that's gonna be my theme song or something, you know? Maybe I could compose something, but I mean, like, I'm not. I'm not. That's putting another hat on that I don't deserve. The kind of, yeah, no. No, I can't compose anything. I'm not gonna try that. Well, I might try it, but I'm not gonna tell you about how it goes. I've got on my paper here talking about the basic materials, which I think I've done. This whole thing is in acrylic, and I'm just using like cheap brushes that I've found over the years. Nothing weird or branded or particular. Like it's flat brush, there's round brush, there's a filbert. I think I try and go off the basis of using the biggest brush possible for the job to avoid getting into details too quickly. But then I think by the end of this painting, I'm getting into details anyway, so it sort of doesn't matter. The process works out just fine, you know. I can tell you a little bit about myself. I have. Well, this is only first because they're literally like nearby and like kind of. My cat's outside the window yelling at me. That's Rain. She tends to feature in most of my Twitch streams along with my dog Ellie. Oh, you can see my dog. That's Ellie. she's pretty well trained. We teach her a lot of tricks and stuff, and yeah, she gets a lot of love. They're both black and super cute and so much personality. Anything else about myself? Okay, so I've been officially, I suppose, unemployed for over a year now, and working on my art, I guess, and streaming and things like that. I don't think I started straight away after I left work, but shortly after, for sure. Actually, I think it was like 3 or 4 months after. I spent the first few months. I think I did try and get the art going on my own, and then it was in like February or something this year. That seems right, but when I say it out loud, it doesn't seem right. Anyway, yeah, that's when I started the streaming, and that added the rigidity of routine that I really needed to get things rolling a bit better. The Twitch streams are I'll link the channel below. I stream at the moment every second day. There's this little redemption system where the longer you watch, the more points you accumulate for free, and then you can spend those points on things. If you get enough of them, you can spend points on things like giving treats to the cat and the dog, or making me drink water when I forget, or having a little break to stretch when I forget. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. There's this cool one where it costs just 1 single point, and if you're the first person on the stream, you can redeem it and just be the winner. You can claim first place to being my best friend for the day. It's nice streaming, and because you get to kind of just, you get to chat along as you paint, and it's like being, I don't know, at a cafe or a studio or something. Well, maybe you don't know what everyone else is doing, but having company while you go is really comforting sometimes. But that is to say, it does mean that I get less work done while I'm yakking, so I'm not really upset by that, but, you know, if you want to really zone in, you almost have to ignore people, which is sort of counterintuitive to the whole point of streaming. But yeah, without it, I really don't think I would get very much work done at all. I'm getting better at it, at working just on my own or outside of this sort of schedule that I set myself. But it's still a growth situation. Ooh, a fun point redemption treat thing you can get on the streams is choosing a word to ban, and the most recent one I had was the word "the." My goodness, it was so difficult. It was so difficult. I wasn't allowed to say the word "the." Technically no repercussions, but, you know, pride and dignity at stake. I didn't win. I didn't get it. I had to reset my timer so many times, and then the last one I finally gave up. I had a minute left out of 5 minutes. I couldn't go 5 whole minutes without saying the word "the." It was very fun. When I finish a stream, I go through whoever else is live. Sometimes I have found them before, or sometimes I have to go find somebody new, and I take all my current viewers that want to go. You can opt out of it, but usually people just go anyway. And we do this thing called a raid. We go to a new channel, and basically you start watching that person instead. And that's how you kind of build a bit of a community there, I think. Sort of learning new people, figuring out maybe different mediums and things, or someone in digital maybe, or even in gaming on occasion, or coding, web development sort of stuff. There's all sorts of stuff on Twitch. You can kind of learn a lot, or just go there to be entertained. It's good stuff. I'll chuck in my little plea for a like and a subscribe and a comment here. When I watch videos on my TV, I get to the last 5 seconds and then remember that it autoplays, so I have to like run for my remote. So if you've got me playing on the big TV, quickly give it a pause and like and well, you can't comment on TV, but whatever, do the like button. That's a good bare minimum easy peasy task. It's you can do it. You got this. If you have any more questions or even critique, I think. I mean, it's not at this point anymore, but perhaps a critique of the process, or I don't know, whatever you want. Comment anything. The world is your oyster. That's such a broad thing. I would be like, well, it's too big, I can't choose, I'm not gonna comment. What's your pet's name? if you need the restrictions to get in there. Okay. I guess I'll peace out from here to the end of the video. There's a little blooper at the end. I don't think I have sound on for it, but it's just me pulling some funny faces. Okay. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!